This is a brief video introducing historical thinking skills for AP World History in the summer of 2012. Taking AP World History is quite different than a regular World History class, and your expectations are different as far as what you're going to be asked to do as a student. And this is a college level course that you can earn college credit for, so the expectations in your performance needs to be reflective of what a college student has. And so you can see that here by these types of questions that is presented at a regular level, an honors level, and an AP level. For instance, you see here define, describe, identify, recognize. That indicates knowledge, that indicates understanding. But going over here to be able to synthesize, to be able to evaluate, critique, create, construct, those are higher level thinking skills that college level students are expected to carry out. And this is what will be used throughout the year to show understanding and what will be expected from you as we go throughout the year. And I just wanted to share these with you so you can have an understanding in the summertime, so you can kind of come in with an understanding of what is expected of you. And so what are the thinking skills? Number one is crafting a historical argument from historical evidence. 2 is chronological thinking. 3 is comparison and contextualization. 4 is historical interpretation and synthesis. And these will be used in every type of essay that we will have this year. And this is also how you'll be, like I said just a minute ago, assessed throughout the year on the AP exam. When these questions are created and when they're graded, this is the lens that they'll be looking through. Can you do this? Can you craft a historical argument? Are you showing proper chronological thinking? Can you compare, etc.? Okay. First, crafting historical arguments using historical evidence. It comes from simply taking a question, taking a concept, and writing a thesis drawing from historical evidence. Are you using it effectively? Using various sources, historical sources that are out there, understanding the point of view, understanding the source that it's coming from, and looking at it through a global lens. This is world history as opposed to U.S. history or European history. Can you look at it and say, oh, this is how it compares to this part of the world at this time? That is what you're going to be asked to do whenever you're given any sort of essay or any sort of assignment. And it's not just simply, do you know what happened in 1492? What is the global context of that? What is what argument can be made about why this event happened? That is what the difference is. Second is chronological thinking. History is time. History is understanding, the why things happen, the cause and effect of history. There are patterns that emerge here. What are the continuities and what are the changes? Nothing stays the same, although there are things that do, and so you have to be able to analyze why these things stay the same and why they change. And so this comes up with a word that is unique to AP World, which is called periodization. So what makes this time period unique in history? What makes it stand out from the time period that came before it and the one that comes after it? Why do we use these years, 1450 or 1750? And that's one of the questions you have for your assignment this summer. But that is a big skill that you have to be able to use throughout the year. Looking at time and events that occur throughout time and why they happen and what are their effects. Comparison and contextualization. Being able to, you've been doing this is one of the most basic, English writing skills that you've done. What are the similarities and differences in this situation? And doing this in history is a big part of being in AP World. What are the similarities and differences between people, time periods, phenomenon, organizations, societies, whatever. And then also being able to take a step back out and look at it and say, what is this? How does this fit into the context of this time period or this region or this country, whatever? And so that bridges the gap to a couple other things we've already talked about here. But can you depict and understand and show understanding and explain how these things happen and how they compare to others. Next, the last one is historical interpretation and synthesis. It basically boils down to can you answer the question why? That's interpretation and synthesis boils down to that. Why is this being said? What is the point of view? What is the context? You know, take a step back and say, okay, I understand this person was writing about this event at this time, and that's the significance of this document. You know, hey, here's this document, the Declaration of Independence. Who wrote it? Why did he write it? What was going on there? What was the effect of it? You know, those are the kinds of things that we want to look at. You know, where does this fit in history? Is there a connection to something that's happened before or after? Is there a theme that's developing here? All those things are skills as a skill that you need to be able to develop here. I will very rarely ask you, you know, simple facts. I'm asking for application, and that is what is the difference here. And that's one of the things I want you to get your head around. All right. So what now? This is a process. Okay, this is a growing process. You did great last year in world geography or human geography. Memorizing terms or looking at a map and saying I know where this country is. This is going to the next step. Okay, and so it's a hard thing to do. So what I want us to do is I want us to do a little practice exercise, and you can do this as you're listening to this, or you can do it, after. But I don't want it to take a long time, 10, 15 minutes max. All right, I want this. This is not a major project. So your assignment is to look at your life and family and use these historical thinking skills. Make a historical argument. My life is proof of. Studying my family provides evidence of. And then chronological thinking. This period in my life, this era in my life, my middle school era, my elementary school era, my preschool era, whatever, or my family's history in the early 1900s, my family's history in the 1950s, etc. You can, if you, depending on your knowledge and what you feel comfortable doing, that's what you do there. Comparison and contextualization. How does my life compare to a sibling? How does this branch of the family tree compare to another in the context of the whole family? And then what does all this tell you? Looking at the collective nature, what is everything that you looked at here? What conclusions have you come to about you or your family? So if you're comfortable with sharing this with the blog, feel free. If not, just share your experience. What I found out by using these skills that I, you know, whatever, that it helped me understand this about my life. It made me think this way, etc. So this is not a major project. It should take about 10 or 15 minutes, just reflecting on your life. You don't have to go and interview your grandmother. That'd be great if you wanted to, but you don't have to. But the objective is to grasp how these historical thinking skills can be used, and post this on the blog in response to this post. Okay? And just please feel free to email me or post any questions that you have.